Joined here by Ryan from William Joseph Communications, and it's a big month for people in small business. Small Business Week is coming up, of course, but we've got you in now, so we want to talk about it right away. And I specifically asked you about this topic because so many people are getting into small business now, and you're talking about marketing for the business. Don't let it be an afterthought.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? Being a startup myself 14 years ago, we've learned a lot over the years. So what we really want to do today is talk about if you're thinking about starting a small business and you're an entrepreneur by spirit, here's some marketing advice that you should really consider. Okay. And you know, really I think number one is marketing is not an afterthought. So many people get so excited, they get their products out and they open the doors of their store and then they're like, oh yeah, we should probably market that, right? So we have to take a step back and start strategically thinking right out of the gate before you open the doors or you launch your e-commerce site. Really, what should we be doing from a marketing perspective?
Got to make sure that people know what you have and it's out there as well. And we'll move on to number two. It's having a compelling brand, so it's your story.
Yeah, so first of all, what we really have to understand is laying out the marketing plan. So really, who are your customers? How are we strategically going to reach them? What competitors do you have in your space? And once you start getting this level of insight, then we have to move to telling your story. And your story has to be compelling. It has to connect your brand and your essence to your customers. So you have to properly articulate that. And what that takes the shape of is both a written form as well as the visual. So the visual things are all like the logos and the graphics that you see attached to a brand.
And I feel like it's getting more and more visual day by day. I'm always looking at brands on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, that. And number three here, ensuring you don't waste time and money.
Yeah, so if you don't have a plan, guess what you're going to do? You're going to come up with a whole bunch of ideas and just throw them out there and go, did that work? Did that work? Well, you know what? That's very frustrating. Sometimes you do get a one-hit wonder and it does work. But really, when you do sit back and kind of think, let's roadmap this all and see how everything fits together, at the end you kind of go, yeah, that makes sense. I have a guideline as to what we're going to be doing this year and how it all integrates together.
Especially when you're a small business, because you don't have always the biggest budget in the world. Move on to the last one here. Second last, setting your yearly budget and plan.
So that's exactly the point, right? So if you don't have that, how do you forecast for your spends? You know, you'd be surprised how many people we talk to and they'll say, you know, we don't even know what we should be spending in marketing each year. And so we sit back and say, okay, well, we better attach that to your business goals and figure out, you know, how aggressive do you want to be in the market, and that therefore would affect your budget.
Okay, Ryan, last one here. Measure as you go.
Yeah, so marketing's become very agile. You can't set your marketing programs and go and hit an auto switch. You have to go each month and go, okay, what happened? Did that perform? Did that not perform? Should we put money from here to over there? So you really have to be watching the results of all of your marketing initiatives as you go, and kind of tweaking it along the way.
Okay, and William Joseph is so good at always providing case studies and examples, so we're going to move on here. Tell me about Lotus Cleaning.
Yeah, so Lotus Cleaning is great. This is a client that came to us as a complete startup and said, you know, I really have big lofty goals for my company as a cleaning company. So he went through the WJ process of strategic planning and insights and brand development, and the creative that was designed to everything from truck wraps to ad campaigns to brochures, everything. It kind of set them up for success. People would look at that and go, is that like a national cleaning company? And this is a startup.
Let's move on here to a competition that William Joseph is hosting. It's a big one, and there's so many small businesses out there. I think they need to pay attention to this next one.
All right, so for small businesses in Saskatchewan, what we have, it's called the RPM Project. So it's the Raw Power of Marketing Project, where you enter your small business online, and what we do is we take it through a series of criteria and vetting processes, and we award one winner $15,000 in our agency services. And being a small business and a startup myself many years ago, I can appreciate what that $15,000 would have done for me. So we kind of thought now it's our chance to kind of give back and help another entrepreneur with some marketing support from our agency.
And last one here, I'm going to throw you for a loop. Sometimes it seems like there might be a bit of an oversaturation of these small businesses. So many of them are popping up day to day. Now, what would you say to them, the biggest mistake that you see when people are just kicking into the business world?
Yeah, it's just not thinking strategic. You really have to sit back and say, okay, you know, what is our strategy? What's our plan here? And you're sometimes competing against the big guys, and they have a lot of money. So you have to be smarter. You have to be smarter and position yourself properly in the marketplace.
All right, well, Small Business Week coming on up. Once again, thank you always for coming in, Ryan.
Thank you.
It was a great morning.